It's day 3 of our live coverage of Xbox Gamescom 2024, and there's so many games to talk about, Charlie, so let's dive in.
Let's get stuck in. We have games on games on games on games, including metaphor ReFantazio, the newest game from the minds behind Persona 3, 4, and 5. We're going to catch up with the team crafting the game and some of the iconic voices who bring it to life.
And then after that, we're going to be discovering what it takes to survive a plague of corrupting souls with Avowed, and then play as damned souls in 33 Immortals, which should be a great time.
Sounds like a lovely time, but now it's time to throw it over to Bex with one of the most anticipated games of the year.
Well, if like us, you have been humming the Indiana Jones theme since this next game was announced, then you just might be as excited as I am right now. Here to reveal as much as I can possibly pry out of them about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, please welcome Machine Games Design Director Jens Andersen and Creative Director Axel Torvenius. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello, we're fine. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here with you and talking about Indy. Shall we dive into it?
Please.
First question I want to ask you guys. Obviously, this film franchise is incredibly iconic. And how did the game come about for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit surreal, right? We've been pinching ourselves throughout production. Is this happening? But it is, I promise. And so it all starts with, Todd Howard had been this, long-term vision and dream and ambition to do a new, interesting Indiana Jones game. He had the opportunity to pitch his core idea from a narrative point of view to Lucasfilm Games. They were also very excited about it. Then Todd took the project to Machine Games, checking in, I think you're a good fit as a studio to do this, and you can imagine the screams of joy within the halls of Machine Games as we were giving the opportunity to work on it. So we are super thrilled.
Super thrilled indeed. I mean, thinking about how big it is and how excited you guys are, the thrill of that must be quite a feat to work with and develop as well. So how is the game prioritizing all of Indiana Jones's adventure from the films into the game?
It's really about putting you into the shoes of Indiana Jones, like allowing you to play out this fantasy. What would you do as Indiana Jones? And with that obviously comes the iconic whip, being able to solve mysteries, escape traps, and doing all these things that we know and love from this iconic hero.
Absolutely. I mean, I probably wouldn't choose the right chalice, but hopefully everything else in the game I'll have correct. It'll be fine. Speaking about the game then, let's talk about what the combat and maybe exploration will look like in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
So it all comes back to the character, what could you do? So combat, compared to, we come from a background of working on Wolfenstein for a really long game, like big, double-wielding shotguns. This game is not that. This is much more adventure-focused game. So that means exploring more open-ended environments, having proper puzzles into the game that's challenging for the player to solve without you getting stuck, being able to scale the environment using your whip, but also, the combat. Like Indy is known for his knuckle-busting, brawler-style combat, so punching enemies in the face or even picking up a banjo and smashing them over the head. It's all about trying to recreate that really almost comedic matinee-style adventure.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, he is an archaeologist, but not quite BJ, but he does a good job with what's around him. Can't wait to get into that. Speaking of utilizing the environment, can we talk about the puzzles that we'll see in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle as well?
Absolutely. This is one of the kind of new type of features that we haven't done so much with before at Machine Games. So that was a really interesting challenge. And as I mentioned, we want to make real puzzles. We want you to be this kind of professor, archaeologist. So there's a lot of games, big games out there that kind of dumb down the puzzles for the sake of just making sure the player gets the full experience. We have tried really hard to just make them exciting to explore and build all these systems, like we have the camera and the journal to help you through the puzzle. You get to investigate and discover, and if you still do get stuck, you have the camera, you can pick it up, you can snap a photo of the puzzle, and Indy will provide a little clue what you need to do. You can take another one if you get deeper, so you don't have to go off to YouTube to see the solution.
Nice.
It's also extremely important to try to hit the sweet spot of making sure that we have these complicated puzzles from a game mechanic point of view, but we also need to make sure that they feel like they fit within the environments, like it's an actual part of this ancient temple that you have discovered, that there's a contextual sense to it. So there's many different components, but we feel that we are in a very, very good sweet spot at the moment where it sits.
I believe in you too. I can't wait to see them. Speaking about ancient temples and things, obviously we see a whole bunch of iconic and interesting locations that Indy gets to travel to across the films too. Whereabouts in the game will us players get to explore and discover?
Yeah, so we have just the base narrative and the core story is already, it makes sure that we put the player on a global adventure. We get to visit a lot of different locations. The reasoning behind some of these locations is a twofold reason. One is, of course, that it fits the narrative, the story that we want to tell. The other one is also to make sure that we introduce new, interesting, exciting environments throughout the full campaign. So you will get this dynamic pacing of, wow, a jungle, a desert, mountains, So we're really trying to make sure that that balance and that contrast feels exciting and thrilling at all times.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, a lot of us, I'm sure, me especially, I'm very excited to get my hands on that whip and take that out for a spin. Is there anything you want to share just now about whip wielding and how that can be used within the game too?
It's such an important feature. Like it's iconic for the character. So from day one, it's been incredibly important to get right, and we've had super talented engineers and animators working really hard to get the feeling of it feeling right. Like there's a mix of simulation, physical simulation in there. There's a mix of animation that takes over that allows you to do all these things that we want to do. You can attach it to things in the environment, pull them, use it to scale walls. It's also a combat tool, so really being able to use primarily as an entry point to combat is a very good use of the whip. You can use it to disarm someone, so you can turn around and then use it to pull an enemy into what we call clinch, so you can punch them. It's a very versatile tool, and getting that to feel right has taken a lot of work. We have the audio part of it. We actually
super important.
Yeah.
It's such an iconic part of Indiana Jones' character. So the amount of work from broad spectrum within the team that's been working on it and working hard to make sure that it is where it is today, it's been not an easy task.
We even brought in experts, like we went to visit the Swedish Bullwhip champion and our audio team went there and rigged mics and everything so we could get the sound just right and see how it's actually being used.
Oh gosh, that must have been quite the day. I love that. Can't wait for that part personally. So let's talk about what it was like working with Lucasfilm. Obviously, absolutely synonymous with Indiana Jones and a lot of amazing IPs. What can fans expect in terms of authenticity in your game?
A lot. So speaking to the point of working together alongside with Lucasfilm Games has been extremely valuable and appreciated. We have been on a constant iterative basis with them, basically a weekly turn. We've been in contact with them. They are the experts of the IP, they are the experts of the franchise. So seeking their guidance sometimes and making sure that we are on the right path has been invaluable and a really good experience. And speaking to what fans can expect, there are two sides to that. For people that are fans of the franchise and fans of Indiana Jones, this is absolutely your fix. This is your Indiana Jones fix, right? But when it comes to And it's might sound weird. There are people out there that do not know who Indiana Jones is. We are capturing them also, because at the heart and at the core of Indiana Jones and the franchise is a fantastic world of deep narrative and a great adventure. So there is something for everyone in there.
Amazing. I can't wait. That sounds so good. Well, guys, I would love to know if there are any parts of the film that you also emulate in the game, or if you could maybe share us a little bit of Easter eggs if you have any.
Well, it wouldn't be a proper Easter egg if we spoiled it ahead of launch, so you have to play it for yourself. But as Axel said, there's a wealth of indie trivia and lots of really cool things to discover in the game. So
if you know type thing.
You will not be disappointed if you're into that.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Finally, last question. When can we get our hands on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
December 9th.
Okay, Christmas wish list sorted then. Very good and very nice. Jens, Axel, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your gamescom. It's been such a pleasure chatting all things indie. I shall don my hat now as well. I think that's only right. And remember, you can pre-order your copy of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle ready for December 9th. Excitement has been building for this next RPG since it was announced back in 2016. Now, this brainchild of some of the minds behind the Persona series is nearly ready to launch. Enjoy this look at Metaphor ReFantazio.
Only the one who has earned the people's support is fit to be king.
People may struggle to trust a king whose face they do not know.
I want to protect this country and its people.
The city of Rhylehaven.
If you get rid of the culprit, I will appeal to the people of this town to support you.
More public support, bigger face on the rock.
Traveling from one nation to another, well, there's all sorts of life-threatening danger on the way.
Can you smell it? There's change in the air. Looks like we've got Sanctifex Forden in the lead, and Count Luis hot on his trail.
You dreamt of utopia. You saw the tribes united as one.
People in the crowd who have never supported you. How are you going to respond to them?
ゲームズコムにご来場の皆さん、こんにちは。メタファーリファンタジオディレクターの橋野桂です。本日はご参加いただきありがとうございます。ただいま2024年10月11日の世界同時リリースに向けて最終調整に挑んでおり、現地へ行くことができずとても残念です。今日は私からこれまで皆さんからいただいている応援コメントや感想とともに本作の魅力をいくつかご紹介させていただきます。まずは皆様にご注目いただいている本作のあらすじについてです。メタファーは本作の舞台であるユークロニア王国の王が殺されるところから物語が始まります。この世界では王族や権威のある人物が王になることが主流でしたが、突如国民から最も人気を得た人物が次の王になることができるという王選挙魔法が発動され、物語が大きく進んでいきます。現代風に言えば選挙のようなものでしょうか。主人公は王を目指し旅をします。 いろいろな場所に赴き、さまざまな人々と出会い成長を重ねます。もちろん主人公以外にもさまざまな種族の人物が立候補します。一番人気になれば誰でも王になれるわけですから、とんでもない公約を掲げる人も出てきますし、ユニークな戦いや騒動が繰り広げられることになります。選挙をめぐる物語をぜひゲームの中で体験してみてください。次にユーザーの皆様からは、主人公が王を目指す道中で楽しめる旅体験への高い関心を寄せていただいています。今作はさまざまな経験や出会いが主人公の王の資質を成長させます。どんな行動も無駄にはならず、主人公の成長につながる、これは非常に重要なポイントです。凱旋者での移動の最中、仲間とチェスのようなゲームを楽しむこんな何気ない仲間との交流からも、主人公は王に一歩近づくことになります。また舞台であるユークロニア王国のさまざまなロケーションにも多くのご注目をいただいています。旅の道中で訪れる街や雄大な自然では、多彩なアクティビティを体験することができます。モンスター退治のサブクエストはもちろん、ある街ではクリフダイビングを楽しむことも可能です。メインストーリーを進めると後から開放されるアクティビティもありますので、プレイヤーの皆さんはぜひいろいろな場所を巡っていただけると嬉しいです。それらゲームの中での選択一つ一つが仲間たちとの絆を育み、主人公の成長につながります。どのような日々を過ごすのかはプレイヤーの皆さん次第です。さまざまな楽しみ方ができるようこだわって作っていますので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちいただけると幸いです。そして予約購入をしていただくと、冒険をより楽しむための豪華な特典がゲットできますので、ぜひ事前予約をしてください。最後に本作の特徴を一つお話しします。メタファーでは会話中、プレイヤーが選んだ選択肢を主人公がボイス付きで喋ります。これは私がこれまでに作ってきたペルソナ5などの作品よりもさらに主人公に個性を与えたかったためです。プレイしていくうちに親近感と愛着が増していただけるようこだわって作りました。ぜひ新たな主人公を愛していただけると大変嬉しく思います。それでは Xbox チームにお戻しします。ありがとうございました。
We've just heard from the developers. Now let's meet some of the voices of Metaphor ReFantazio. Joining me now are Kristen Atherton and Stuart Clark. Thanks so much for joining us here at Gamescom. How are you finding it so far?
Oh, mate, it's been overwhelming in the best possible way. Like, I've never been to an event like this, which it's like gaming theme park.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like every area is themed. I'm looking at the World of Warcraft section now, and it's just like, it looks like this themed attraction. People are queuing. They've got incredible rides. There's games. Like, I just want to go out and explore. Like, as soon as this is done, I just want to go and I want to find some cool things to go experience.
I mean, you walk in for the first time and it's just, you almost want to just stand and take it in. It's just a spectacle.
Yeah.
And people walking around in costumes, you know, I want to stop every single person and go, you look incredible. Wait, you look incredible. It's such a wonderful atmosphere. We're having such a brilliant time.
Yeah, it's one of the best things, us wandering around the booth, seeing all the games. But let's talk about your game, because both of you play some incredible characters, right, in the game. Stuart, do you want to start off with who you're playing and tell us about your character?
I can totally start, yeah. Okay, so I play Leon Stroll, he is your first ally. He is your brother in arms, your ride or die, your main man, your special dude. I'm running out of ways to describe it, but he is like your first and foremost. Runs in very early. He is like a country noble who, basically, he's a man of the people. He's got this idealized version of what a noble should be, how a noble should act, how they should interact with the world, and it's an idealism that isn't always matched by the world that he exists within, and he butts up against that a lot. And I think it's so refreshing for him to find the protagonist and for them to share this kind of forged in fire experience early on, where they find that their ideals align and their motivations align, and he is able to join him as that first ally. Like his mouth gets ahead of him sometimes.
Yeah.
He's forthright. He will if he doesn't like you, he'll tell you. And if there's a grudge, he's going to keep that grudge. But if you're on the right side of him, he is your best friend.
It sounds like everyone needs a stroll in their life.
I think so. I think so.
I agree.
Kristen, what about your character?
Well, if you need a stroll, you certainly need a Hulkenberg. Iselin Hulkenberg is, she was a knight originally, and she was the bodyguard of the royal family, the prince, and she sort of carries this extraordinary sense of honor and of her duty to the royal family. And when we meet her, she has this enormous wound because she was not able to protect the royal family in their hour of need. And so when we meet her, you get a feeling of she needs to redeem herself. You know, she needs to prove that she is the great knight, the great warrior, and she has your back. She is front and center. You want Hulkenberg to be fighting your corner. She takes herself very, very seriously. She's maybe not the person you want to play a practical joke on, because she will not get it. However, you do want to go to a bar with her and eat some weird food, because she likes her weird food.
Weird? What kind of weird food are we talking about?
I mean, I don't want to drop any spoilers, but basically...
Huge spoilers. Huge spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Hulkenberg's cuisine.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin her maybe one joke of the entire game, but yeah, she will eat what pretty much no one else will eat.
That is fair enough. It's pretty much me at Gamescom. I was just going like, oh, what have we got? Like, going around the town.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things I find when with any prep for building these characters is, what are you given beforehand? Are you shown like images? Are you kind of given extra details so that when you're going to build this character, what's the approach for you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Honestly, Benny, it can vary massively from project to project in terms of where you are in the recording process when the game's being developed. So it might be that you come in further along and there's so many assets. You can see full cutscenes, you're getting a full rendition of the world. Or it can go completely the other way and you're basically performing to an Excel spreadsheet and everything is having to be conjured by your brain. I think with this one, it was sort of an in-betweeny stage where when we started the project, there was very little. There was like nothing to go on. I remember Scott, the localization director, was sort of describing these things, describing humans, human monsters, and I was like, okay, yeah, right, I get it. Do you get that? Yeah, yes, Stu, yeah, I get it. I didn't really get it. But then the assets start coming in, and you start seeing these animatics, these cutscenes. There we go, there's one. And you start to see the scale. You start to understand, like, oh, wow, this is not what I pictured. These are not traditional monsters. This is not a traditional fantasy world. It's when the assets did start coming in, and especially when we started dubbing cutscenes and stuff like that, then I started to go, oh, this is different. This is like a different experience, fantasy-wise, to anything that I've done before.
A lot of the monsters, they're almost like Hieronymus Bosch kind of, creations. They look sort of beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I don't know about you, when I auditioned for Hulkenberg, I was given, this is what she looks like, and a lot of kind of descriptive, kind of characteristics. And very quickly, I look at that and go, well, I look nothing like that. So you have to really imagine, you have to pretend every time you're in the booth. One of my directions was, you've got a six-pack on, your armor is a six-pack. And, I'm a sweet little English rose, so stuff like that helps me massively.
No, it must be a lot of fun though getting into those roles, because they're like, as you said, such different characters to what you've done in the past.
Yes, 100%. There are a couple of moments in the game that are huge battles, especially for a character like Hulkenberg, and I'm quite an extra performer. I like going big, and a lot of the directions that I kept being given was, Kristen, you're very good at fighting these battles. Things hurt less. Do less. There are a couple of moments, again, I don't want to spoil, big dramatic moments where I was screaming, and the performance directors are going, Kristen, less.
It's always said though, it's better to go less than be like, oh, more. Because
100%.
That's what one of the things I've always seen is like, if you've got more, you can kind of like take that step back and kind of get what you are after.
Yeah,
good point.
I didn't get any do less direction. So what I'm hearing is that Stroll feels every attack, and he feels it a lot. The Hulkenberg can like take it, and Stroll is like, oh gosh.
Badass. Needs work.
Also, with it like being a voice recording and going and voice work, when you're going into that and you're kind of prepping to do the recordings, because like even backstage we're doing like little warm-ups in the morning, like with like the whole Xbox team that are doing the hosting, like doing like red lorry, yellow lorry, green lorry, like bite my burger, all this like stupid stuff. Right? Is there anything particularly you were doing to get yourself into the like kind of like mindset before recording, or like any prep?
Less of a vocal exercise, but I tell you what I did do throughout the recording process was that the studio was a little bit outside of London, so I always had a train journey to go. And I played through the entire of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on my Switch because it just got me in that kind of RPG mindset of like listening to other voice actors, enjoying what they're doing, feeling inspired, and getting me in that zone. So that was kind of my prep, was more of a mental prep of just like getting you into the world of like fantasy, JRPG, that kind of thing. I found that actually really, really helped me.
Yeah.
No,
I like to listen to computer game soundtracks when I'm on my way. You know, it's very tempting. You're walking around, you know, South London, and you hear this epic music in your ears, and you're like, I am a warrior. Yes, all of you should fear me. And actually, as soon as you take the music out, you're like, I am not fearsome or scary. But yeah.
Honestly, it's been so much fun, like just kind of like seeing how you approach these characters in the world, and I can't wait to play the game myself as well. So thank you so much for both of you coming and joining us and like finding about the process and hearing about your characters. And a big thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Gamescom and get a chance to get around the booth as well. So remember as well, the epic story of Metaphor ReFantazio unfolds when the game launches October 11th. So check out the pre-order and get ready for the adventure. But coming up, the team from 33 Immortals stopped by to help us join the rebellion in this unique 33-player co-op. And later, we give you the ultimate booth experience with an Avowed demo only seen here at Gamescom. And remember, Avowed will be available on Game Pass day one. So get ready, and a great way to get ready is to take advantage of an offer from Xbox Game Pass. Get new games on day one like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on October 25th. Play some of the biggest games of the year and also unlock partner benefits from Riot Games and EA Play. And if you're not already a Game Pass member, you can join right now and get your first month of PC Game Pass for $1 or €1. This offer won't last long, so act now. But also, now we turn to a nutty puzzle platformer that trades acorns for ammunition. Welcome to the wild world of Squirrel with a Gun.
My name is Dan D'Entremont, game director for Squirrel with a Gun, the game where you play as the neighborhood's most obnoxious rodent, committing crimes and causing mayhem in pursuit of golden acorns. And I'm so excited to share a bit about what makes this nutty sandbox shooter and puzzle platformer so special. The core of Squirrel with a Gun is in its nutty sandbox gameplay. We had to make sure the gameplay was as crazy as the concept. You play as an unhinged animal as it wreaks havoc on the world around you as you explore and complete hidden objectives. You can be a nice squirrel and ask for snacks and pose for photos. You might get some rewards for wholesome interactions, like helping a bride find her missing groom, shooting some hoops, going on a little water adventure, and heading to the skate park to show off some tricks. But you can also choose to be a nuisance, pestering the community, like running them over with your little RC car, giving someone a shave riding the drone, doing a showdown with Wild Will the cowboy. There are so many different ways you can interact with people in this game, and a lot of hidden side quests to complete with the NPCs in exchange for the highly desirable golden acorns. Regular acorns and the rare golden acorns are used as currency to unlock new weapons or other interactable items, like your RC car. This game also has a lot of clever puzzle platforming. Not only do you jump and climb around like a normal squirrel would, but because this squirrel is often equipped for combat, you can use a gun's recoil to boost its jumps. This feature is utilized in various ways based on which gun you are holding, and sometimes you need a specific weapon to help you navigate a puzzle. For example, you wouldn't be able to get the acorn on top of this roof without a shotgun to blast you up there. We had a lot of fun making each puzzle super unique. There's a minefield that you have to sneak through to get the rewards on the other side. The neighborhood itself has all sorts of backyard puzzles, like getting some air with bouncy umbrellas, or getting low in the crawlspace maze. Some of them can get a little crazy. You can take to the sky on a bouncy castle, and head underwater to get some rewards. Let's take a quick pause in the gameplay to show off some cosmetics we've been working on to style up our squirrel. My favorite outfit is the diving suit because it lets you explore a hidden underwater cave that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. A few of the cosmetics even have tactical effects. Wearing a bomb suit will reduce explosive damage, and the sparkler hat can light propane tanks on fire. And of course you can't have a squirrel with a gun without the gun. There's 7 different weapons to unlock in the game, each with its own unique takedown and jump boost. You can learn more about them by watching our previous Arsenal trailer. Each one is a blast. I hope you learned a little something about how squirrels can wield weapons and cause chaos, and I can't wait for all of you to get your paws on this passion project of ours.
Bosses in Path of Exile 2 come about 2 major ways. You obviously have the more traditional approach where you create a narrative and you design a boss around that narrative.
No noose this time. I'll remove your head myself!
The second way, which I think is something that can be very unique and create some of the more interesting encounters, is letting the creative genius of our artists do what they need to do. They can come up with something completely abstract, and this is how you get some of the most awesome things, because all of a sudden it can be something with 100 tentacles, or 9 limbs, or no limbs, or 1,000 teeth, or none, and obviously things that aren't even in my imagination. Well, a boss in Path of Exile 2 ultimately is the culmination of decades of experience, making hundreds, if not thousands, of bosses in its predecessor, taking all that knowledge together, and puts it in a package that delivers the best of what could possibly be of boss encounters in an action RPG environment with bosses that are utilizing Souls-like mechanics. Despite the fact there's over 100 bosses, and more to come, a lot more to come, every single boss fight is completely unique, hand animated from scratch. It is designed from scratch, it is balanced from scratch, and it doesn't reuse a single asset in our library or anything like that. One of the main challenges balancing boss fights in Path of Exile 2, especially compared to its predecessor, you have to, in a single attempt, reduce the boss from full life to 0 in order to then progress through. If a player cannot defeat them now, then they're stuck. It is very, very important to us that Path of Exile bosses, mechanics, especially around telegraphing, feels fair to the user, as opposed to them being cheated out of something when they happen to die. We want to make sure that hitboxes are accurate, and of course when something hits you, it feels like it hits you. It ultimately makes it feel that much more satisfying when you kill it, and you feel that much more pride when you are able to overcome something difficult, knowing that the game hasn't robbed you of this thing. At the end of the day, you want to see that healthy balance where some people are struggling, and you want to see that moment, that second-hand moment where someone overcomes that challenge and is so happy for doing so. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Gamescom experience, we have been giving away prizes all week. And now it's time once again for one of you lovely lot to win something truly awesome. If that sounds like music to your ears, then head over to twitch.tv/Xbox for your chance to win the Riffmaster wireless guitar. It's so perfect to play music like a true rock star in Fortnite Festival. And of course, it's compatible on Fortnite Festival across Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S consoles. Now head to chat and rock on. Okay, now it's time to catch up with the minds behind Wuchang Fallen Feathers and take a look at a never-before-seen piece about the inspiration behind this epic title.
大家好，我是林哲科技的创始人之一，也是明末冤虚之语的制作人夏世元。林哲是一家位于成都的游戏公司。成都有非常丰富的历史底蕴和传统文化，这里有神秘的三星堆，有脍炙人口的三国故事，也有大量的历史建筑和文物。我们在这片土地上生活和工作。作为游戏从业者，我们很希望能够把这些独特的东西带给大家。游戏的故事背景设定在明朝末年的1647年，张献忠刚死，川蜀地区正迎来他最黑暗的时期。由于战乱和羽化病的出现，这个地区就变得非常的险恶。我们为羽化病撰写了属于他自己的架空历史，从蜀王杜宇时代起，经历了汉唐、宋末以至明末。每逢战乱的时候，羽化病就会出现。我们把这些信息分散到了游戏的只言片语当中，以及游戏的场景叙事当中，力求拉近这个架空世界和玩家之间的距离。而无常作为主角，他需要在这些传说中寻找复活妹妹的线索，而在这个过程当中，玩家和主角都会逐渐去接近整个事情的真相。明朝末年在四川地区的战乱、瘟疫的混乱和这种破败的背景，其实和我们的游戏类型是极为契合的。我们希望把更多诸如胡金铨武侠电影的质感和这种黑暗的背景做结合，利用这种强烈的冲突去创造出独特的美术氛围。在这种美术的基调之上，我们就可以通过更多的非线性的关卡设计，或者说是包括一些垂直的关卡设计，去增强冲击力，然后去做更多的场景叙事，营造一种故事感，让玩家能够在体验游戏的时候沉浸其中，或者说是让玩家在游戏中每走的一步路都能够感觉到这个世界是活着的。当然，明末作为一款架空世界的游戏，我们依然希望能够给玩家呈现一个具有明末特色的游戏体验。为了实现这一点，玩家将在游戏中邂逅大量历史中存在的或大或小的人物，比如像张献忠及其4大义子，拉近玩家和传说之间的距离。通过这种大背景下人的抉择，去展现人性中的光明面，把更多关于传统武侠的概念的思考留给玩家。游戏开始的时候，其实给玩家提供了一个容错率非常高的区域，允许玩家慢慢的熟悉游戏当中的一些独特的机制。玩家会跟随无常的视角，发现自己回到了阔别已久的故乡。玩家需要帮助无常去寻找失去的记忆，与游戏中遇到的各种各样的角色进行对话互动。但是在前期，玩家可能不会意识到，前期的每一个抉择其实都是非常关键的。游戏前期其实，为接下来的旅程制造了大量的悬念和铺垫。我们相信这会勾起玩家的好奇心。随着游戏剧情的深入，特别是到了游戏的后期，玩家会产生一种恍然大悟的感觉。实体扫描是一个非常好的方案，因为扫描技术可以把时间的痕迹很好的记录下来。四川还有周边地区存在着大量的明代古建筑以及少数民族的建筑和村落。我们为了去把属于那个时代的特征带给大家，大量使用了像激光扫描仪、相机、无人机等各种各样的设备，去获取物体表面复杂的几何信息，从而生成这些复杂的模型，让它们能够进到游戏当中。这样的话，玩家就能够在游戏中行走在这些过去的时间当中了。 战斗方面，我们为了做出一些自己的东西，从电影和传统武术中吸取了大量的灵感，设计了很多武器和流派机制，让游戏的核心战斗在不偏离本味的基础之上，能够更加的具有动作性和策略性。比如我们的双刀就借鉴了武侠电影，双刀的部分招式在和对方拼刀的过程当中，能够偏斜对方大部分的伤害，并且造成伤害。但是如果这个时候玩家的体质太弱，那么则无法续航。所以说这个时候一般会选择一些 T 技作为组合去弥补核心机制的不足，进而这种不同的搭配就会造成玩家各种各样的 build。我个人其实比较关注玩家在战斗中和怪物的交互和反馈机制，所以说在战斗系统的核心设计方面，我们强化了战斗方式的多样性和策略性，针对不同的招式，应该说是针对不同的怪物的招式设计了更多的解法，力求丰富玩家的战斗体验。武术指导在参与项目的过程中，会根据游戏的动作去进行包装，然后最终确保效果是符合预期的。我们的动画师将根据武术指导的设计再进行2次调整和制作，这样最终游戏的动作就可以在游戏性和观赏性中间取得一个比较好的平衡。当然，首先很高兴能够时隔数年再和广大玩家见面。这个宣传片的主题其实是说从人堕落成怪物。这个主题更多是希望表达游戏中的一个主旨，就是一切的力量都是等价交换，玩家也会随着无常的旅程，看到游戏中大大小小的人物为了自己的执念染指了未知的力量，造成了非常可怕的后果。然后宣传片中出现的 BOSS 其实和无常是有血缘关系的，游戏中家庭的这个主题也将在这个人物的剧情中得到体现。随着距离我们2025年的发售日越来越近，我们还会陆续给大家带来更多的内容。感谢大家的关注和支持，我们会和505 Games 一道紧密合作，尽快把更多的内容带给大家。
It was one of our favorite titles when it was announced last year, and now it continues to make headlines in the run-up to release. Here with what fans can expect from 33 Immortals, we have Thunder Lotus producer Nicolas Godin. Bienvenue à la Gamescom.
Ah,
Ça va?
merci, ça va très bien. Thank you very much. Gamescom is awesome. Your booth is awesome. It's very impressive.
And you actually were here last year with 33 Immortals on our Gamescom stage.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been a year, it's been a minute. Could you give us a refresher on the ABCs?
I'll give you a little recap. So 33 Immortals is a co-op action roguelike game where you join the fight with 33 players with you, and then the goal is to fight masses of monsters and epic bosses, and all that in a raid, pick up and raid. It's how we call it, the pick up and raid vibe, where we want to give this raid accessible take for players, low key, low effort. You just join in and you fight all together.
And Phil Spencer is a fan. We know that.
We are very happy to mention that Phil was our first community member since he played last year. But to be fair, he was really nice with us. He played with us. He was very. He's our fan. We love him, and it was a good moment with him last year.
And you got community testing now under your belt as well. So could you tell us more about the reactions?
Yes, it was interesting. Throughout the whole year, we had a closed alpha and a closed beta. For the closed beta, we were very surprised. We had around 47,000 players. We weren't expecting this at all, but we are very grateful and happy to have all these players joining in. And it was nice because we also had a survey in it, and we asked them, would you recommend that game? You know, this classic, would you recommend it? And we were very happy to hear that 94% of them would recommend it. So for us, it was clearly a big success.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And those community testings can be very revealing. So what did you learn about that for your game, and how does your team evolve things before release?
Yeah, indeed, we learned a lot. First of all, we confirmed that our core game mechanic is working very well. The fact of playing with 32 players as a big group in the world, in boss fight, it was a good success. People appreciated all the co-op mechanics. The boss fight, again, they were very appreciated. And also, it's something very TLG-like, is that we know we have gorgeous art, like gorgeous animation, gorgeous art everywhere. It's really our like tagline when you talk about Thunder Lotus, and we respect that and people appreciate that. It was very good. On the other end, we also had tons of feedback, and that was good because we needed feedback, obviously. And we know that we have to still work on the combat. The combat is such a big thing in our game. We want to make it more snappy. We're also going to work on some like tutorials at the beginning to make it more clear for players. We want to work also again on some communication features we have in game. We'll pimp them up to make sure that people have all the tools to communicate with each other very easily. And the last of it is also all about the difficulty. We want to make sure that every player will be able to jump in and enjoy the game with the right difficulty level. Right now, it was a bit too difficult.
So yes, and especially raids can be very difficult. They can be very demanding, sometimes elite. And do you have a different approach on that in the game?
But you said it exactly. Like raids in games, people will have the conception that you really have to dedicate yourself. You have to take time. You have to grind and like make your character more powerful. Have a group that will show up at the same time. We want to take another like vibe at this. We want to make sure that people can just open the console, go in our Darkwoods hub, equip a weapon, equip beautiful capes and ornaments because that's important. And then like just jump in. And the second you're in the world, you are with 32 other players and you play together. This is really our take on the pick up and raid, and we wanted to make sure that the game will be easy to access, but yet still be challenging. And this is our biggest challenge, I would say, because it's easy to make just a game that is very easy, but it still has to be fun, challenging to the player. So this is really our focus in the past few months, where we want to make sure that our game will be perfectly balanced for this, yet very accessible.
I love that. Accessibility is so important. But I remember you talked about the tutorials. Did anybody beat the tutorials, actually?
It's a funny moment. So we know that at our tutorials, we have this kind of torture chamber where you have to die. We want you to die to just stop this and go to the yeah, it's like you can keep going. But someone was able to just survive the whole thing. And it was very impressive to see this. Some people are very dedicated, and props to these players because we love them a lot. But he did manage to die at some point, I guess, otherwise he wouldn't keep going in the game, but that's it. We have very dedicated players for this, and he made it.
I love that story. So he made the impossible possible.
Every players will always show us that everything is possible.
But you also got something new coming up, a new realm. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, exact. So in the beta, in the closed beta, we introduced a new world, which is about Purgatorio. So right now, just as a little reminder, when you join the game, you start in Inferno. This is where you'll play with 32 players. And then when you join Purgatorio, it's a smaller zone, so it's 22 players, and it's going to be it's going to be way much more rough. It's more challenging and demanding. In terms of the area, it looks very different. There's a lot of like ashes everywhere. It's clearly another mood. A lot of like monastery and like abandoned places everywhere. But the biggest thing about Purgatorio is the fact that the monsters are all different. In Inferno, we have a roster of monster with variation. In Purgatorio, we have a whole different monster-like roster. And what's cool with them is that we introduce more co-op mechanic between them. So we have monsters that are able to heal each other. So they can be a pain sometimes in some fights. They have some that can slow players down. They have some that can make other monsters invulnerable for a short time. So we wanted to challenge the player differently to make sure that they will use all the roles of the different weapons in an efficient way and just challenge them in a different way with the other world.
So a lot of diversity, a lot to explore and watch out for, definitely.
Yes, exact. And by the way, please note that they are support, but they will still hurt you because yes, it's about dying again.
I see what the whole thing is about your game.
We're very sorry.
We talked about the beta moments ago. Will some of those insiders see evolution in the game?
Yes, and what's nice is that when you play a zone, you have access to a big boss fight at the end. Inferno was a Lucifer boss fight, which was very exciting. And for Purgatorio, we go with an Adam and Eve fight in the Garden of Eden. We weren't sure to push it out, but the goal was to have feedback on the gameplay. So when we put it out, it was very rough. It was all pink and placeholder with rough animations, and it was very fine with us because we wanted feedback on gameplay, which we did. And then right now we are working a lot to make sure that all the official assets for Adam and Eve will be like completely done, and we'll have tons of more info about the fight soon. But they're gonna look great. Animation will be done, VFX will be done. It's gonna be pretty nice.
I can really feel that your heart is beating for the community and the feedback. So if anybody else wants to join, how do we keep up with 33 Immortals?
Well, the team is very dedicated. So I just want to say a big props, camera.
Yes, please.
Like team, we love you. We are at Thunder Lotus. The team is like 20 people, and other people at the office always help with us. And really props to you, and props to all the players that help us with these different phases. We love you. Keep coming back. And if you want to keep contact with us and the game, first of all, join 33immortals.com. Follow us to have news on newsletter and the different phases that will come in. And also, we also started Xbox Insider playtest on this weekend. It's going to start right now. So for those who are on the Insider ring, please join the fight and have fun with us.
Well, hopefully you can enjoy some more of Gamescom. Thank you so much for coming, Nicolas.
Thank you very much.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Merci. Dankeschön.
De rien. Sign up at 33immortals.com to keep an eye out for 33 Immortals coming to Xbox Game Pass day and date. Coming up, we found out the latest from the Space Marine series. Then we've got 2 gameplay presentations you just gotta see. But first, it's the prequel to the fan-favorite real-time tactics series, Commandos.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Xbox booth.
Over 50 titles and experiences means this booth is huge.
Yeah, so huge that we had to do a part 2 of our tour. So why don't you show everybody Towerborn, and I'll go find out what else is on the booth.
Come on, join me. This is Towerborn, a 4-player co-op game you can enjoy here at the booth. So make sure to bring some friends with you, because there are going to be some amazing boss battles as well. Make sure to check this out. By the way, where's Henry at?
Over here, our fans get to experience Microsoft Flight Simulator like a proper pilot. We've got the yoke, we've got the rudder set up. From personal experience, this is definitely the way to play it. And we also brought along World Update 18 and a brand new plane for them to check out. Looks sick.
No Xbox Gamescom without Forza Horizon. And we got a new Day 1 announcement with Hide and Seek. Fans at the booth can already play this new mode. And they can also check the latest Nike collab. Fans at home can play the latest mode on September 10th.
Over here is the perfect opportunity for fans of Fallout 76 or that recent TV show to grab a great snap in front of this iconic vault door. But follow me inside because I've got something to show you. Now, the Skyline Valley update's been available for a little bit of time, but here at Gamescom is their first chance to playtest the upcoming update, Milepost Zero.
Welcome to the Here to Help Accessibility Desk. We are dedicated to have you all play. Whether on our broadcast or around the booth, we have multi-language interpreters. We have wheelchair accessible ramps and also stuff to set up the Xbox Adaptive Set. We have the World of Warcraft booth with a great VR wheelchair experience, so make sure to check this out. We have great audio descriptive tours as well. We also show you the new joysticks and make sure to check out and maybe customize your own thumbsticks.
Over here we've got the Avowed theatre experience, which is really cool because our fans get a VIP walkthrough of some never before seen gameplay. Right after that they can also cast some spells and whatever they're doing.
Are you ready for the pirate party experience? Then check out the Sea of Thieves booth here at Gamescom. We have a chicken present. You can win some loot. Can you imagine to control an ever-evolving nation? Then Ara History Untold is your game. Fans can choose between different historical figures. You can build and explore, but choose wisely because this world is yours now.
Understandably, this next section is so popular, I couldn't even get too close to it. We've got the first Starfield expansion, Shattered Space, right next to the first Indiana Jones game since 2011, all wrapped up into one beautiful theater experience for our fans to see. There's a lot for them to check out behind those walls.
Xbox is all about the fans, and at this community hub you can get up close and personal with your favorite games and even some of the voices of your favorite characters. So make sure to check the schedule, enjoy and have fun at the booth.
And no Gamescom would be complete without some swag, and our gear shop has got everything you could ever want across so many of our different franchises. We've got stuff for Fallout, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty. I'm going to go fill my bags up, and we'll just see what the rest of the show has in store for us.
And that was Commando's Origin. I'm pretty good, didn't it?
Sick.
Now, to Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Henry, did you know it was released back in 2011? What? Now, 13 years later, Space Marine 2 is nearly ready to make landfall. Here with more, please welcome Saber Interactive's Chief Creative Officer, it's Tim Willits. How you doing, Tim?
Thank you for having me.
Are you having a good Gamescom so far?
This has been a great Gamescom, and the reception on the game has been great.
Amazing, wonderful. We got some questions for you. You got the first one in your love.
Yeah, I'd like to know, because this is a follow-up to the game that released back then, and knowing that there's quite a following to the Space Marine universe. I mean, the game itself, that the IP that the franchise is based on, has been ongoing for many years. Yeah. What's it like working with a team like Games Workshop to bring something like that to life?
Nice.
Yes, it's been a great honor for us to work with Games Workshop and to also work on the in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. You know, this universe was created 45 years ago, and the influence that it has had on video games that we've played for decades, I don't think many people realize. You know, working with Games Workshop, you know, we worked hand in hand on the story, the setup, the Space Marine chapters, even like the enemies that you fight. So it was a great collaborative effort.
Yeah, no, I can totally imagine. And because of that, with 45 years, you say, of history, I imagine there's quite a challenge when it comes to making a sequel to a popular game for core fans who've been with you the whole time, but even trying to entice new folks who, like myself, I haven't played the first Space Marine game. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about, what does this mean for those who have played for ages or maybe uninitiated to 40k?
Yes, that's a great question. It was definitely a challenge to create a game that both respected the franchise, respected the fans, but also was approachable enough for people to play it. Now, I know you said you haven't played Space Marine 1.
Please don't hurt me, Tim. I'll get round to it.
That is totally fine. Yes. Don't worry that, if you haven't played the franchise, jump into Space Marine 2. If you're just a fan of over-the-top, in-your-face action games, this is the game
That
for you.
sounds like a bit of us.
Right, that's good. But for the fans that have been there all along the way, they played the originals, how have they helped, your community basically in focusing your development team to make sure the sequel is just right for them too?
Yes. The community, the Warhammer 40,000 community is intense. It's millions strong, and
they love it, right?
They love it.
Passionate amount of love, yeah.
Yes, and so working with Games Workshop, they have their community team, they have their expert writers, and we have talked to the community. We made sure that we are delivering the game and the experience that really is true to the franchise, and to really make you a true Space Marine, to that power fantasy of being the most badass soldier in the universe.
I mean, have you seen the sort of stuff they're up against? It's crazy, right?
I was going to say, looking at it, that was going to be my next question actually, is how is this love and this influence reflected in the action and the pace of the game that we're looking at here? Because this looks, well, you said it's quite intense. It looks really full on.
Yeah.
Yes. The key to Space Marine 2 is both the complex melee system and the range combat. One of the things that you will see is, Titus has to use everything in his arsenal, from blocks to hits to dodges to grabs to glory kills.
Nice.
It's really a very visceral, intense, and in your face.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks so good. So do all of them have different kind of that up-close melee ability that we just saw as well? I know there are multiple folks you can play.
Yes.
Yeah?
So one of the great things about the game is we have a campaign where you play as Titus, and he has two squad mates whom the computer can play them, or your buddies can play with you.
Oh, fun, okay.
Yes.
Great.
And then we have a PvE campaign where you can play as your own Space Marine.
Ooh.
And you can customize your Space Marine, you can be the chapter that you want, you can upgrade.
That's great.
And then that also leads to PvP. So you can go head-to-head with other humans playing as Space Marines.
Oh, that sounds good.
Absolutely.
That's a bit of us. I like that. And here's the range stuff that we're seeing here now, yeah.
This is the thing, the action is very intense, and at times the number of enemies can get quite overwhelming as well. It's not just about the fact that you're dealing with someone far away, maybe someone up close, because I can deal with one dude.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
He's fine with that.
Tell me about the
for sure.
sort of technology you've had to develop to allow for there to be so much going on screen at once.
Yes, so the key critical component of this experience.
That was sick.
Yes, that is
Are you
an
kidding?
awesome glory
we
kill.
just need to quickly go, nice job, Tim. Like that, Tim.
Yes. So the Swarm engine. The Swarm engine was developed by Saber Interactive in World War Z, and that has been developed, and now we're in Swarm Engine 2, where we can bring massive amounts of Tyranids, never seen before, and they just come at you and they break apart. And every one of those Tyranids, based on our new AI director, starts thinking, and they're thinking about killing you. And it is an over-the-top war, like epic, never seen before, epic war, where you are the main fighter.
And is this just going around in the skybox? Because I don't know about you, Henry, but the idea of loads of Tyranids flying at me sounds kind of fun. Is it something that you can see from a distance, or are they coming at you?
Yeah, they're much scarier.
They're just Tyranids.
Yes, especially when they're hundreds and hundreds.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they come at you with everything, and you need to use every weapon in your arsenal. Every move that you practice to stay alive. You can see here where the Tyranids are moving into the battlefield, and they're just on their way.
Off.
It's nuts. And as they approach, they immediately break out into individual units that have their own AI.
I was going to say, how does that work with the swarm? Are they all on a set path, or as soon as they land, is it just like the fastest route they can get to you and start messing you up?
So our new advanced AI director coordinates the battle.
Nice.
So the swarm can come from different directions. The swarm kind of like breaks apart, like when they separate. That can happen at different times, based on the state of the battle, based on what you're doing, and based on what your Space Marine buddies are doing.
Tim, you've done it again. Did you see that one?
No, I'll watch
that
that
one
one.
was sick. And watch the show back.
that one was-
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'm so distracted. This looks so good.
You just said that they assess what the like state of the battle is.
Yeah.
So does that mean they're also reactive? And if they're thinking, oh, he's got this lane covered, let's direct some around here to sort of flank. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
Yes. So you are a Space Marine. You're a Primaris Ultramarine. Okay. But we can't make the game super easy for you.
Nah.
So you'll feel like, I'm bashing these Tyranids, but then they overwhelm you. And then the AI director can bring in more advanced units from different directions. They can flank you. So the ultimate goal is to feel like you're not going to survive, to feel like this is you're going to lose, but you make it and you win, and it's a great feeling.
It's like at every opportunity you're just about to like close the gap, feel like you're getting ahead, and then you guys are just like Sebulba, just chucking a wrench in my engines. Oh, I'm falling back again, and it's all over. Got to work from scratch again.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes, it's very
Good
intense.
reference, Henry.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Very on brand for you. I like it. Yeah, that gameplay we were just looking at, by the way, the sheer size of it. Yeah, here we go. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we can see a little bit of the swarm here. Maybe.
That's a flying. They're flying Tyranids. In this particular battle, they're attacking these huge kind of radio towers, and you just like destroy them as you try to survive, because they start landing. Different units start landing on the same platform that you're on. And as you can see, there's lots of ways that you can go about killing bad guys.
Yeah, not for you, mate.
So it's not just mindless violence. There is also quite a lot of like objectives, mechanics to be following as well.
Strategy,
Yes. So if you played the first one, and I know you haven't, that's okay.
I've got some homework to do. I understand.
This is our melee system is much more advanced. It's much deeper, and our range combat system is also much more advanced. So I like to call it the dance of death, where you have your melee, your blocks, your reactions, your critical hits, and then you can also pull up your ranged weapons, take out enemies from a distance, and you really need to learn how to use the tools in your arsenal of death to win the battle.
And it's not just the people right in front of you. I know we're taking things off the chain here, the Tyranids, but the chain's integrity in the top right corner. So I'm clearly guessing that if you let that get to zero,
mission over for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Were there any other technical developments that really plussed up Space Marine 2, by the way?
This is our own technology.
Nice.
And when you build this technology for a game, you can make it awesome. We talked about the swarm. We talked about the AI director. It's crossplay.
No.
Yes.
Ooh, I love that.
So you can beat up your buddies.
I will. You're first, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yes, and then the true you can play solo, you can play PvE, and there's a full-fledged PvP mode as well. So it's a very dense game. It's as dense as a Space Marine.
Oh, I love it. So give us some more juicy information. When can we actually get our hands on it?
So Space Marine 2 comes out September 9th. If you pre-order it now, you can play it early.
Yes,
It's right around the corner. Wow. We're testing the servers, making sure that the infrastructure can survive the Tyranid horde that's coming. We feel good. The reactions to the gamers here playing it's great. We're excited, and we want to get it out the door.
Amazing.
Thank you, Tim.
It sounds like you're super busy. We'll let you get back to work on getting on the horde. Thanks for stopping by.
Running out of time, Tim. Crack on, bud.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, though. I'm definitely playing.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
Well, coming up, though, our friends at Xbox Game Studios show us how nations are made in our history untold. And then we're going to catch up with the team from Obsidian Entertainment to give you guys, an exclusive gameplay presentation direct from the Avowed theater here at Gamescom. But first up, it's what First Descendant fans have been looking forward to all year long. It's Invasion's right around the corner, and we also got a look at what you can expect. And we also just learned, by the way, Charlie, that the newest Descendant, Haley's character trailer, will be revealed before the update goes live August 29th. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, have a look at this.
Turn the ship around. We'll put it back.
We managed to fend off our enemy's large-scale attack, but the war is far from over. The Colossus still threatens us, and our enemies are plotting new strategies. Can Ingress ever find true peace? Has Squirrel really given up on the war? After Squirrel's fleet disappeared, the Vulgus began moving from deep within the dungeon to raid the Ancestors' facilities in Ingress and reclaim the outpost. Detecting this, Ingress immediately dispatched a scout. That scout's name is Haley. Haley, who rose from a supply soldier in the guerrilla unit to a legendary sniper, is now a newcomer in the Descendant Corps. Ruthlessly eliminating enemies with her anti-material sniper rifle, she dominates battles with her ability to drop her body temperature and emit cold air when her emotions run high. When shooting from a distance, her weapon's critical hit multiplier increases, making her an excellent fit for sniper rifles. She possesses sub-zero bullets that fire multiple shots in an instant, and a storm snare that pushes back and rapidly cools down enemies in front. Above all, Haley's specialty is switching to her anti-material sniper rifle and firing a single, incredibly powerful shot, stronger than any other attack. In Season 1, the Vulgus launches a new strategy, the Invasion. Invasions occur randomly in 2 dungeons of the hard difficulty infiltration operations. Players can choose to enter between the existing operations or the invasions. Invasion dungeons are only available for solo play, testing the strength of the Descendants. 3 Vulgus legions will block the Descendants with different defense mechanisms. The quantum field creates an immortal state, impervious to physical attacks. The resonance shatterers cause massive explosions with the energies of RK and the Iron Heart. The Keeper Tile encryption device maintains a powerful security system. Invasion dungeons present new mechanics that disrupt the Descendants' operations. Solve these enemies' mechanisms and swiftly eliminate them. Invasion dungeons are designed for speed runs, and the faster you clear them, the greater the rewards that await. After coming in contact with the Iron Heart, Descendants experience an RK resonance phenomenon. This resonance grants the Descendants new powers. It's the season growth inversion reinforcement. Inversion reinforcement is a new growth system that resets at the start of each season. It includes 5 types: hunting, attributes, recovery, survival, and seasons. Through the inversion reinforcement, Descendants gain beneficial effects for progressing through seasonal content, and can also obtain effects that compensate for their weakness. Each season, we plan to tailor and replace the inversion reinforcement effects, providing effects that perfectly fit the seasonal content. In addition to a new Descendant, a new Ultimate Descendant will be introduced in Season 1. Ultimate Freyna, who has evolved RK's toxicity into a more powerful weapon, will make her debut. In Season 1, you can discover Freyna's exclusive story and uncover the tale behind the name of her skill, Room Zero Trauma. Excava is an assault rifle with powerful versatility. It can be obtained through the Battle Pass and is also available as a free reward. Excava charges voltage when attacking enemies and has a unique effect of firing the charged voltage as an energy grenade. It is a versatile weapon that combines the inherent versatility of an assault rifle with a powerful shot. Frost Watcher is a scout rifle that can be farmed through the Season 1 content. When hitting enemies from long range, it reduces chill resistance and enhances the damage of one's chill skills, making it a perfect fit for Viessa and Haley. If you've prepared a new Descendant, ultimate weapon, and inversion growth, it is now time to face the most powerful Colossus, Deathstalker. Deathstalker lurks in the darkness of the void, targeting the life of Descendants. It is stronger than any Colossus encountered so far. To protect Albion from the threat of Deathstalker, we must once again venture into the void, unravel the mysteries within the darkness, and intercept Deathstalker. The First Descendant's first season begins on August 29th with Haley, a new Descendant, Ultimate Freyna, and the new Ultimate Weapons. New episodes, dungeon content, and void intercept battles await you in Albion, Descendants. The First Descendant, Season 1 Invasion. Play for free.
Hi, I'm Carrie Patel here at the Avowed booth at Gamescom. We're so excited to introduce you to the Dawn Treader quest and dungeon. And in just a moment, you'll get a walkthrough from senior narrative designer Kate Dollarhide, who's also the writer for this quest, and our community support manager, Chris Stanek. Don't forget to wishlist Avowed on Xbox and Steam, and look out for our release on February 18th. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the world of Aora.
Hi, I'm Kate Dollarhide. I'm a narrative designer at Obsidian Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Chris Stanek, the community support manager here at Obsidian Entertainment.
We're so excited to show you Avowed. I'm going to be walking us through the dungeon.
I'm going to be playing the game.
So let's get into it. Let's jump in. All right, so the Envoy finds themselves in a dungeon in the first region of the game called Dawnshore. They're searching for an Adherent expedition team that's gone missing. The expedition team was here looking for a holy relic that is supposedly in the keeping of the Oracle of Aethys, a man named Sargamas. And the expedition team hasn't shown up for the last few days, so let's check in with Sargamas and see if he knows what happened to them.
I'm sure he knew something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It has been too long. I had feared I was the last of us, but you... Oh, the very sight of you is a balm for the soul. I am the Oracle Sargamas, servant of the once shining god, he whose light has lately dimmed. What brings you to this sacred space?
So you can see at the top here we have an Arcane Scholar background check. That was selected at character creation. When you play the game, you'll have an option of 5 background checks to choose from. We chose Arcane Scholar because we're playing a wizard and it just felt right. But let's check the lore, tooltips, and conversation review feature.
All right.
Chris, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course.
Thank you. All right, so on the left here we have the conversation history feature. This is going to allow us to scroll back through conversations we've already been through and just, check on anything we might have missed that we wanted to confirm. And you'll notice here that the words Once Shining God have been highlighted. This is our lore tooltip feature. Once Shining God is a reference to the god Aethys, the god of redemption, light, rebirth. He's also Sargamas' god. So here on the left side of the screen, we have a short paragraph about who Aethys is, his context, and a menu where you can select different lore tooltips. So these tooltips are helpful for us to, deliver lore from the world of Aora to players who are new to the setting or who are returning after a long time away, and just get everyone up to speed without bogging down the dialogue with a lot of exposition. So these are super helpful for us and hopefully for you. Let's back out of that. All right, I'm looking for an expedition of my countrymen. Did they pass this way?
An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
An expedition? Treasure maps, matching outfits, campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like. What troubles me is why they would come here. These ruins are not so different from the many others on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it. Do you know what their purpose is here?
Let's select option 2. They were searching for a relic you're rumored to keep here.
Ah, the splinter of Aethys. I suppose it was too much to hope they were here to examine these exquisite ruins. Truly, it is their loss.
Where do you keep the relic? I might find them there.
It rests in a shrine deep within this temple complex, beyond the reach of looters, visitors, or indeed, myself. The path to the relic has fallen to ruin. Some sections are flooded, and others are infested with all manner of creatures. Although, perhaps you might assist me with that.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh, no. I had something far grander in mind. You see, this construction beside us is no mere statue, but a reliquary I have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur. It is nearly complete, and ready for the splinter to be interred. But I can no longer reach the relic on my own. Return it to me, and who knows, perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way.
All right, I'll be back before you can say 10 praise Aethuses.
I am most grateful. Oh, and please refrain from touching my statue or devices. May light illuminate your path, cousin.
All right, so Sargon has had quite a lot to say there, but essentially he was saying that he didn't see the expedition team that we're looking for, but if they're looking for the relic, that might be where they are. And it just so happens that he also needs this relic to complete his statue here. His beautiful statue.
He worked really, really hard on it.
He has. He's put a lot of stuff on that.
It's like when my son makes things out of popsicles.
It is giving Lego. So you made me lose my train of thought. You're demonic. So looks like our quest marker is pointing us to an area down below us, but I see that Chris wants to explore a little bit. So let's look at these breakable boards. It's got a sword symbol there. Can we get the sword out?
Yeah.
Leave those be. They protect my devices.
Oh, I don't think he liked that.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Surely he won't hold it over us later.
Let's leave those alone for now and keep exploring. So, ooh, more breakable boards. Awesome. Let's hop across this chasm. Keep heading up. So we have designed Avowed with a lot of vertical space in mind to make use of our parkour system. So it always pays when you're exploring. So have a look around and always look up. You never know what you'll find. Like this chest. Ooh, we've got an accessory and some crafting materials. Let's open up the inventory screen, take a look at that. So that's going to be Night Mistress's favor. This is going to give us additional essence for standing next to our companions. Essence is what spellcasters cast their spells from. It's our... I can't remember what the word is now.
It's our resource.
It's our spell resource.
Yes,
it's our spellcasting resource, of course. So Night Mistress's favor is going to allow us to cast more spells for longer by generating additional essence when we stand next to our friend Kai. So let's look at the character screen. All right, so we have attribute points on the left and our character sheet on the right. You will have seen the attribute points come up in conversation. We select a number of those at character creation and then a few points here and there on level up. So we have put a number of points into intellect because we're playing a wizard. So we want that additional essence and that elemental resistance to give us a little more survivability in combat. Now let's turn to our character sheet. You can see that we're level 6. We are close to getting a new level, close enough. We've got our background there. And then our health, essence, stamina, data, all those good stats that you can keep track of over the course of the game. So let's look at abilities. All right, we have put quite a number of points in the wizard ability tree because we're playing as a wizard. The first one we selected was the Wand Mastery passive. This is going to give us the ability to do additional damage with wands. And because we're double wielding wands, that's going to allow us to do a lot of additional damage. And then down below it, we've got the Blood Magic passive. This is a really fun way to play and definitely one of QA's favorites. Blood Magic essentially lets us start casting from our health when we run out of essence. So if we're slinging spells back and forth in combat, we don't have to use an essence potion, we can just start using our health. It's a risky strategy, but it is very powerful. Let's look at Grimoire Mastery. All right, Grimoire Mastery does a number of things. First, it lets us use higher level spells as we upgrade the ability. It also lets us memorize spells from our grimoires. So if you have a grimoire you really like, but you get a new one that's cool and you want to try, you can spec into some of those spells from your previous grimoire and then toss it aside and pick up your new one. Let's look at our active abilities.
Well, in the grimoire, it's all because of the power of reading.
That's right, we do love to read here at Obsidian. Okay, so active abilities, we've got a Corrosive Siphon. This pairs very well with Blood Magic. So essentially with Corrosive Siphon, you use this ability on enemies, it steals health from them and returns it to you. As a Blood Mage, this means that I can cast more spells for longer and I don't have to worry about dying in combat.
We're not gonna die.
Never, you've never died while doing this.
I haven't and I don't plan on it. I'm
unkillable?
I'm offended
Oh,
that it was even brought up.
I'm sorry. I won't bring it up again. Our other active here is Arcane Veil. This is your classic magical barrier ability. Because we're playing a wizard, we're wearing light armor. We want to be light, we want to be nimble, move around the battlefield quickly, but that also means we're opened up to a lot of additional damage. Arcane Veil is going to help us catch some of that damage and not take it ourselves. And then down here we've got Bristling Frost. This is a spell we learned from our grimoire. Bristling Frost is going to create a ring of frost on the ground at your feet, and it's going to deal accumulated freeze damage to any melee units that come and get up in your business.
They're gonna try. They're not gonna make it though.
No, you won't let them.
That's right.
You're just that good.
Well, let's not go crazy because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna die so many times just now because of this. It's hubris. This is the curse.
And now that we've said it never happens.
Oh, it's totally gonna happen
Yeah.
now.
All right, so our quest beacon is sending us through this tunnel full of water, so let's just have a swim as we go look for the expedition team. All right, it looks like we're coming into Sargemus's old workshop. We've got some Audra there attached to some wires, a number of animancy like devices around. Yeah, so Audra is central to the universe of Pillars of Eternity, where the people, plants, animals die, their soul leaves their body, flies into the nearest Audra pillar, and then goes deep into the earth to re-enter the cycle of reincarnation.
Sounds like a lot of work.
But can you argue with the results?
No, you're right.
All right, so it looks like we've got a godless sigil here. Excellent, and a essence generator there in the back. So the essence generator is going to unlock that godless sigil, but let's see what's actually being locked here. Top down in the water. All right, it's a gate. Excellent. Ooh, and there's a chest back there. I want to know what's in that chest, but I don't see an easy way into this room.
I can try to ram it.
What?
I'm just gonna try to ram it.
Just try to ram it?
Yeah.
Well, that's not working, so let's go back to that top level and see if there's another place we could look. Just check this area a little more thoroughly. All right, it looks like there's a breakable wall there with an explosion symbol on it. We're not going to be able to break that down with our swords, so we're going to need grenades. Nice.
I was gonna try ram it again, but I don't think you would have liked if I tried to ram it again.
Here we have an essence generator. This is going to unlock that gate. You can see that it has a electricity symbol on it, so that means we need something with electricity to turn the generator on. For us, that's going to be an electric lily seed, a electricity spell, or if you have a companion with you who uses electricity, you could use their ability too. For us, we're going to need an electric lily seed, so why don't we get that equipped?
I finally feel like I'm on a cooking show where something's pre-cooked. You're like, and here's the chicken.
And here's the switch. Yes. You did it. All right, so the generator is running. We've got an accessory and some crafting materials. Let's pop open the inventory and see what we have. Band of Transcendent Suffering. So we're going to deal 10% additional damage, but also take 10% additional damage. It's a little risk, a little reward. I think it's going to be fun. Let's equip it.
I like it.
All right, back to swimming, following our quest beacon here. It looks like we're coming up on Sargemus's library, an enormous library, which is pretty impressive in the world of Aora, where there is no printing press, so all these books are handwritten. It looks like we also have a number of red dots in our mini-map in the top left corner. That means there's enemies nearby, so let's deal with these spiders. What do you want to do, Chris?
Oh, I'm going to sneak up on them and I'm going to
sneak
get them.
up on them. All right. Nice.
Quick and quiet.
Give me a power attack to that spider. Arcane Veil. Corrosive Siphon. Spread the love around.
Oh, yeah. Spiders love the corrosive siphon.
All right.
Yeah.
Another power attack on that spider. We're building up that stun meter over time. That's going to allow us to do a special attack when the stun meter's full. Looks like Kai's done his companion ability, and now he's taunting that spider, drawing aggression away from us, which is very nice. And now we get that special attack.
Hit it with some electricity.
And a little bit of electricity grenades.
Back off and finish it with the wand.
Awesome.
Easy.
Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep moving. Ooh, it looks like we've got a blocker here, some webs in the way. Thankfully, Kai has an ability that will let us get right past that. Let's use Kai's fire starter ability.
Ready, bang.
And that should burn right away. There we go.
It's always handy to have a useful friend around.
A guy who can do tricks.
Yeah, right?
He always has a
Like-
lighter.
And, you know, I'm walking around, I run into a web, I'm like, there it is. I gotta get Kai. Call
He's
him up.
dependable. That's what we say about Kai. All right, so I don't see any sign of the expedition team, but what I do see are some Zorops and a water beetle. So let's join their party. Ooh, it looks like that damage we did to the water beetle is filled up again because he's being healed by the Zorop Elder. So we're gonna need to take out that Elder right away. Yeah, burn him down with Corrosive Siphon.
Get all my health back.
Looking good. Arcane Veil's active. We're healed again. Kai's getting in the mix.
Good.
Oh, we got
Good
Bristling
friend to be.
Frost. Excellent. So we're dealing some accumulated frost damage.
I'm gonna get the Zorop up here. Thinks he's cheeky.
Where'd he go?
There he is.
Running away from us.
Did he jump up there? No. Beetle left? Yeah, the beetle's left. The little beetles.
Oh, he's so fast.
He's nimble.
There you go. Nice.
Did it.
All right. Done and dusted. Let's keep moving.
You didn't doubt that I was gonna die there, did you? Like,
I thought about it.
Okay.
I thought about it, but I was like, no.
all right.
I trust Chris.
I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, so we are still looking for the expedition team. Let's poke around this area and see if there's anything interesting we can find. I see 2 godless sigils above a locked gate. And there's something in there these ruins don't want us to get to. Thankfully, there's a wire on the left and a wire on the right. I think those are going to go to the essence generators. So the one on the left was going below us. Let's pop down there and see what we can find. Yes, there it is. All right, that's one down. Where's the other? Should be close by. It was right off to the right. Oh, there it is in that gap.
What? Oh,
on the left.
Right
on the
there,
left.
right there, right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Got it. Boom.
Nice. All right, with both those sigils activated, the gate is open. We can get our prize from the sarcophagus. Bitter bonding. Let's check that out.
All right.
All right, 10% of weapon damage restored as health. This is going to be super helpful for us as blood mages. So as we're doing damage, we're going to get a little bit of health back. That sounds fun to me. Let's equip it.
You got it. Pardon me, Kai.
All right. So I think we're near the relic. We haven't seen the expedition team yet, but we might as well pick up the relic while we're here.
There's the relic.
It's really shiny.
Can't be as easy as just grabbing it.
Ooh, but I don't think the ruins liked us taking that relic. So we've had a bit of an earthquake, and it spawned some skeletons.
Hello, friends.
Hope you're ready for a skeleton fight.
Yeah, always ready for a skeleton fight. What they always say about me.
Christian,
You know,
always
Chris,
ready for a
always
skeleton.
ready for a skeleton fight.
There,
Oh,
Kai's doing
Chris.
some help for us over here. Excellent. I think we've got some rangers on the left. We should deal with them right away. Yeah, they're going to be no fun. Raining arrows down on us. All right, that's one down. Tower attack. Oh, a grenade
nice.
as he jumped. Nice. That was
Hit them
stylish.
with the lightning.
Very
Is there one
stylish.
more?
Is there another one?
I'm being sloppy. Where'd he go? There he is.
Oh,
it's this guy.
Really,
That's why.
Oh, it's the fighter.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We got something for him.
All right, so he's got a shield,
That wasn't
which
it.
means we're going to need to break his defense in order to deal damage to him. That's
And
why
then
Chris is using a
Kai's-
power attack here. Chris is gonna use Kai's companion ability to hit that skeleton, and he's toast. Now we've got a mini boss, the Godless Executioner. Oof.
Try again, try again.
Try again.
It's okay. He'll get me one day.
This guy hits hard, and he has a very extensive range, so we
He
want
did-
to
He did get me.
stay.
He did get me a few
We want to
times.
stay out of his reach. Ooh, it looks like he's being healed. Oh, there's a priest up there. We got to get him right away.
We're gonna get you.
Arcane Veil active. Corrosive
Gonna
Siphon.
Melting you down. No more healing.
Melt down that
done with
priest.
that.
Excellent. All right, now we can finally do some damage to the Godless Executioner. Ooh. Good thing we have Arcane Veil active. All right, we're building up some nice stun. He's taking frost damage. He's frozen now.
Maybe he should let it go.
All right. Ooh.
Maybe Kai wants to get in on this dude.
Kai, give us a hand. Oh, and Kai finishes him off. Thank you, Kai.
Such a good buddy.
Well, we still got a few more skeletons to mop up. All right, hit him with a electric lily.
Oh, no.
We're gonna need to break his defense before we can do some damage on him.
All right, I have to stop messing around. One moment.
Oh, Chris.
One moment.
There you go,
First
get that health back.
Oh, it didn't work. I got potions.
All right. Resort
they
into a
at? They're
potion.
over here.
I can't believe it.
I know, it's the first time all day too.
Watch your back.
All right, there's the ranger.
This. And
Another
this.
electric lily.
Yes, come into my electric pool of fun. You, sir. I've had it with you. Yes.
Bristling Frost does it again.
All right, Kai, I need some help. Thank you.
Thankfully,
And
Kai's
again.
here to give us a hand.
Boom. See?
Awesome.
You were
So
worried?
we built up that stun meter, and now we got to use a special attack. I wasn't worried at all.
Okay. I was a little worried. I was a little worried. That's everybody.
All right, I was a little worried.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like the fight is through, so we can keep going. Ooh, it looks like that earthquake caused some roots to grow and this area to flood, giving us a new way out of this zone. Our quest has also updated there on the left side of the screen. Now we have a few new objectives. At this point, we have a few options. We can go back to town, Paradise, and look around the Adirian embassy and see if there's anybody who wants this relic that we've grabbed. Or we can go back to the Oracle and say, hey, I got your relic, and see what he does with it. Or we can continue looking for the Adirian expedition team, which we still have not found. And it's looking like one of our quest beacons has turned into an area beacon. It's that little circle inside the larger mini-map circle. That means there's something more to find in this area, so we maybe need to look around. Hey, I see a purple crack in the floor.
There it is. What's that?
Yeah, what's that? Let's crouch down through this
sneak through
ivy. I bet there's something back here. Ooh, a hole in the floor. Perfect. Kai does not like the vibes. Oh.
This
Looks
doesn't
like
look
it.
good.
No.
Not
Looks
at
like it
all.
might be the Adirian expedition team.
Oof, this is
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, that's the expedition leader's journal. That's too bad.
Well, we found the expedition. Looks like they've only been dead a few hours. But how did they get in here? They can't have come the same way we did. We swam here. What's stranger is there's not a scratch on them. No sign of what killed them. It's like every member of the expedition team just collapsed.
Looks like we passed this intellect check, so I want to select this one. They didn't get locked in here on their own. The Oracle put them here.
We're using our big brain. Problem solving.
That's right.
Here's an idea. This temple is full of old animancy equipment. Could he be building a giant animat? I've heard of those, but I've never seen one. They're suits of armor brought to life by bound souls, right? The Oracle couldn't have put the expedition's souls in the statue of Aethys, right?
Let's go ask him.
You're gonna do the crack?
Try.
Oh, I can't do it either. Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Whatever the Oracle has planned for that relic, and for us, it can't be good, Envoy. Aethys is a dangerous god associated with Eora's bloodiest wars, and he recently killed thousands of people in Deadfire. Now, we have a piece of him, and we're about to face a maniac who wants it desperately. Tread carefully.
So Kai is right to be concerned. He thinks the Oracle might be engaging in animancy, which in the world of Eora is a little dicey. Animancers have a pretty poor reputation, and honestly, in much of the world, animancy is illegal or really frowned upon. Animancers are soul scientists. They use essence, or the stuff that souls are made of, to enact great magical works in the world, but also a lot of tragic stuff. So let's go talk to the Oracle and see what he has to say for himself.
He's got a perfectly reasonable explanation. He seems, you know,
It's gonna be
on the up
normal.
and up. Yeah. Those are things that people do.
You have been gone some time. Do you carry the splinter of Aethys?
I found the bodies of the expedition team in your workshop. Did you kill them?
I did not expect you to be so thorough in your explorations. Nevertheless, I am impressed. As to whether I killed them, well, that is a matter of semantics. Does death occur the moment the heart ceases beating, or when the soul is broken upon the wheel? In one sense, then they are quite dead. In another, they remain very much alive. In either case, they have entered a state of change, and the impetus was mine.
Let's see. It looks like we passed this perception check. You're gonna put their souls in your statue, aren't you?
Yes, you and you alone see my purpose clearly. You see, I have given them the opportunity to be part of something larger than themselves. With your help, I shall give them a new commission. To prosecute the redemption of a god.
How do you expect to redeem Aethys?
Do you carry the relic I asked you to collect?
I do carry it.
We do.
Excellent. The relic you have retrieved was stolen from Aethys' body. He is bound to it, or it to him. And before the events at Ukaizo, he would speak to me through it. He speaks to me no longer, but I believe he resonates with the splinter yet, as I do. If I am correct, when it is placed in the statue, the magnifying power of the Ardra will draw him into it, and he will be trapped. Locked into the reliquary with a chorus of furious souls acting as his conscience. He will finally begin the work of making right all the wrong he has done. All that is left is for you to place the splinter into the statue's chest. Will you do it?
I mean, we could just give it to him and he could go up there and
What
do
do you
it.
think?
We gotta go up there and do it too?
I want to
Okay,
do the cool
okay,
stuff.
okay.
Yes, I will put the relic
All
in the
right.
statue. I want to see where this is going to go.
Once you have placed the splinter into the statue...
I'm just saying he could go up there and do it. Like,
He's 600 years old. Give him a break. He's got brittle bones.
all right. All right, guy. This time I'll bring it up there, but next time,
It's your turn.
yeah, you're gonna fight the skeletons.
All right, let's hop up on the scaffolding. Get the relic in there. Nice.
There we are. Now, to fill the statue with essence. Do me the honor of pulling the lever, just there. And my lord will
All right, let's do
return
it.
to face justice. Any moment. Oh. My god, Aethys. Are you there? No. It's not working.
How long was he working on this again?
A few years.
Oof, this is gonna be awkward conversation.
Yeah. Let's see what he has to say.
My lord Aethys has not returned. Something is missing from my design. Something I did not account for. It must be the chime. Without its ringing, he cannot hear the statue's call. My cousin, will you join my holy work and lend your chime to the cause?
So this chime that Sargemus is talking about is unique to godlikes. Only godlikes have a chime. It's what the gods give them before they're born to mark them as their own. As a godlike of Aethys, Sargemus has a chime given to him by Aethys. As a godlike of an unknown god, we also have a chime. So what he's essentially asking us is, will you give up what makes you special and die for my experiment? And at this point, we have a few options. We can say, sure, Sargemus, I would love to die for your statue. Or we can try to convince him that actually he should die. As a godlike of Aethys, Aethys is probably going to want his chime and not mine. Or we can attack him. I kind of want to attack him.
You want to attack him?
I want to attack him.
He's
got a glowing sword. I want that sword.
Yes, we've been too nice to him today.
There's nothing to fear. You won't feel a thing.
Give
All
him
right,
a moment
good luck.
to get settled.
Ooh, he's fast.
He is fast. See, he's just acting like he's old. He's not that old.
Building up some good stun.
I'm a little out of breath.
Ooh,
I'm out of breath. Sir, please stop.
Kai doing some work.
I'm
no.
okay.
All right, second wind is activated.
Second wind.
We're up.
See, still not a death.
Down but not out.
Not a death.
Bristling Frost activated. That should do some
There we
frost
go.
accumulation, Arcane Veil, and Corrosive Siphon. Nice.
Kai will take some of the aggro.
Kai's using his companion ability. Now he's drawn the aggression. That's going to be really helpful for us.
Little grenade action.
Little power attack,
and
grenade.
Boom. Kai gets that. Oh! Perfect.
Well done.
He'll put that in.
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Let's loot his body.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right, he's got a great sword. Last Light of Day. Can we equip that, please?
Of course. Ooh.
Beautiful. All right. So that's not the end of this quest, but it is the end of our time together. So thank you so much for looking at Avowed. We were so excited to show this to you, and we hope you play it on February 18th. Thank you so much.
Aura History Untold, a 4X grand strategy game spanning the ages, is beautiful to look at, yes, but it's even more fun to play. Here to walk us through this epic world, please welcome Xbox Game Studios executive producer Matt Turnbull. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, this is going to be a fantastic segment. How are you enjoying Gamescom so far, though?
Gamescom is my favorite event of the year.
Agreed.
Honestly, it brings so much energy to be able to interact with people who love games, who do those things. The booth we have this year is incredible because
It's so detailed and beautiful over there.
Yeah, we're finally coming out, right? The game is finally ready. It's coming out September 24th. Have to drop the date in there.
Check.
Yeah, check. Done. But the booth has just been a really fantastic experience. Getting to actually let people play hands-on with the game, experience the game. It's the way it was meant to be played, and just feel like they could become a leader.
100%. Well, we're going to do exactly that now. I cannot wait to see this live gameplay demo we're going to do. So I'm going to let you just kick things off, get us into the game, set the scene, and I'll check in when I'll get a little bit nosy.
Anytime. You're always welcome.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. So as you probably know, Aura History Untold is a historical grand strategy game. It bears a lot of DNA from your classic 4X genre and some of the other genres around, historical grand strategy. This is Xbox's first foray into this genre. It's honestly not a genre that we've truly explored, truly gotten into before. We've made, obviously with the Age franchise, with RTS, but true grand strategy, turn-based, is new territory. And luckily, we have this incredible partner, Oxide Games, that has a tremendous amount of experience. People who have worked on almost every great strategy game you've ever heard of or played. And they are such an incredible partner, and we're so excited that we get to help them bring this game to life.
Oh, stunning. Okay, so as usual, our first question when we enter a game is, what are we going to be? Who are we?
Yes, so right now you can see I've got Shaka Zulu here as the head of the Zulu Empire. He has all these different interesting abilities. We have 10 leaders here at Gamescom. Now, when the game launches, we'll have over 30 leaders available to play from.
Wow.
But we only brought 10 with us to Gamescom this year.
So you can fit in the suitcase, I get it,
Exactly. Just gonna make room. So right now, I think for today, though, I will play Nefertiti.
Lovely. Okay. Why Nefertiti? What's the choice there?
So if you look at her different abilities here, you can see things like farms and their upgrades provide additional food per turn. She gets big bonuses if she's next to rivers, as kind of a reference to the work on the Nile. And then as sort of a person who is very famous for being a royal wife and a queen that pushed the religion of the worship of the Aten, the sun, she had this opportunity to have these awesome religious abilities. So when you found a religion with her, it spreads faster and you're able to move it more. And in those early eras, it can be very, very powerful and a really strong source of prestige, which are the points you need to win the game.
Interesting. Okay, let's crack on with Nefertiti then. And here we go. This is my favorite bit, map building. What do you suggest we go for today?
Well, we've kind of pre-set up a map that we think will be a good show for us. We've got 8 nations on the map. We have average sea level. You can change everything in the game from the temperature, the humidity.
The humidity, wow.
Even the axial tilt. And so this is one of my favorites because when you imagine, the Earth, you know exactly how it's tilted to the sun, right? So pretend that it was like a planet that was more tilted. In that case, the map it would generate would have a much hotter area, a much colder area, a broader cold area, depending. So it generates all of those things based off of that. Now, you get a deterministic seed, which is basically a number that you could put in, and as long as you have the same options, the same seed, it'll generate the same map, which means that if you fall in love with a map, I fall in love with a map, we can share it.
Oh, I love that. Okay, awesome. What was the size of the map we went on here? Because I know, especially when we call this a grand strategy game and referring to some of the other games you've mentioned already, map size and scale and detail is so important. So A, what are we doing today? And B, what options do you have there?
Yeah, so honestly, the game has a number of different map options. At its largest map size, you can fit up to 36 nations on there.
Whoa!
All at once.
Goodness
and
me.
Thanks to the power of simultaneous turns, which is one of the unique innovations in ARA, the players are able to all take their action within the time term, whatever the time limit is you set in multiplayer, and then a single player as long as you want, and then you submit the turn, and all the actions resolve simultaneously.
And it goes, okay, interesting.
And so you can play with 36 players, and it's totally functional.
Doesn't feel like
it. It wouldn't really work to play 36 players one at a time, over time at a time.
Yeah, with a cup of tea, like, come on, lads,
I would take off for a while, and then come back, and it still wouldn't be my turn.
Absolutely. So what's this exposition that we just got at the beginning of? And also, Act 1 is an interesting thing to read.
Yeah, so in our History Untold, the game is broken into 3 acts. Now, you play the same leader from the very beginning of the game all the way to the modern era. When we say a History Untold, what we're talking about is the untold history of this alternate Earth, this alternate life of this alternate ruler. And so you play the same history, you play the same ruler, the same nation. You take them from the beginning of the first agrarian, the first farms, all the way to the modern era, and even a little bit into the singularity age.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's jump in. I want to see this first bit, and I'm picking up on that singularity bit because that sounds wild.
All right, so one of the first things you probably notice is that ARA has a kind of a different presentation. A lot of these games are inspired by board games, hexes, tiles, and I love those. But with ARA, we really wanted to deliver the player fantasy of being a leader of a real world, the choices you make. And so there are things like organic borders, so where the river goes is where the natural borders are.
Oh, I love that.
And you could do other things like, if you zoom out and look around, sometimes you'll see mountain peaks out in the distance because your people could see those mountains. For right now, though, it looks like we have a nice little temperate forest here, some plains that are lovely. We've got some grains available, and we can zoom all the way down and see.
Oh my goodness, you get so close.
Yeah, there's some wheat growing over here, and then if I zoom in over here, you can see some rice that I could turn into some rice farms. Over here, it looks like there's some dangerous predators, in this case, some wolves.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What are they? Do they move freely around the map, or would you go to engage them over there?
So you have to hunt them in order to be able to take advantage of this area. And luckily, in the early areas, I have this scout, which is a unit that can go out and do some great stuff. So I'm going to send my scout there.
Oh, wow. It zoomed.
You can see how with simultaneous turns, they haven't made their full move, but they've indicated where they'll go.
Interesting. Okay.
One of the fun things about simultaneous turns is you can cancel orders at any time.
Oh, wow.
And so the game has the depth and complexity of like a grand strategy game with layer after layer after layer. As you set up all your moves, you'll see what all the impact will be. And then you can go, you know what, actually, I'm going to wind it back.
That's good.
And none of it will go off until you hit end turn. So let's go ahead and get our scout moving and make one other big decision that we make at turn 1, which is what to build. So
interesting, yes, because there's decisions are very, very important when it comes to these strategy games, and I'm sure we're going to go through quite a lot of them anyway, but what's this first one that players are going to meet as soon as they start?
Yeah, so the very first thing you have is you have the ability to improve your cities. Now, Ara is a game about people. It's about your citizens. It's about their quality of life, you know, their happiness, their health, their education, and you improve your lands with what we call improvements that can do things like improve their quality of life or provide them with additional housing. So the first thing we're going to build is a farm, and that's going to help us with some initial growth. And
we
also,
have the same strategy here.
Yeah, you got to do it. And
So
especially
good.
with Nefertiti, it's just a great option. And so you can see the little ghostly outline is telling me that that'll show up too. And so when I hit next turn now, you see everything begins. My scout makes their move. You can see the people have begun work on their farm.
Oh, that's so nice.
You know, there are people working away at the
going,
thing.
whistling away. Good stuff.
Yeah, over here I've got my great hearth, which is sort of the center of our power right now, where our leader lives. And then if I go back over here, I see my scout is over here. Now, I'm going to send my scout to hunt these wolves.
Ooh, okay.
Hunting a predator is about clearing the lands for you to be able to use, and I'm definitely going to want to build farms over here, what with the rivers and Nefertiti's abilities.
100%.
Beyond that, when you hunt animals, you also can end up getting some early resources. And so you can see the little guys going in there, getting ready to hunt the wolves.
Good
the wolves
luck,
running
guys.
away. But the value of this is going to be that I'll send back furs, possibly food, maybe even feasts that could help boost my city's power. So
nice.
the next thing we're going to do is pick a technology.
Ooh, okay.
All right, so I'm going to let you pick, right?
Oh, Matt. Okay, here we go. I'm sitting straight. Let's hear it.
So we're in the ancient history era. Ara is broken into 12 eras across 3 acts. And so right now we have these very early beginning human technologies of being able to make bows, of being able to ferment food into wines and other beverages, being able to do animal husbandry, understand how to raise animals, turn them into meats. So what are you feeling? What are you aiming for? Knowing what you see around you here with the rivers, the water, but also some of those grains, what feels right?
Oh, I'm concerned you're setting me up that there's a specific choice here. Based on how
many good choices, many options.
Based on how I normally play these types of games, and knowing that as soon as possible I want to start rearing animals at a farm, I've already told you what I want to do here, and eventually going into, you know, maybe more scouts and armies and everything like that. I think animal husbandry, for me, is where I want to go. I'm not too fussed on the pottery. We'll get to nice mugs and plates a bit later, but for now, I want cows and I want sheep.
Let's do it. And then we should go and take a look, see if we can find some of those things with our scout here pretty soon.
I will say quickly, though, on that decision, as it's such an important one you make at the beginning, what's a good option for first-time players? Is it animal husbandry? Is that the route you would typically kind of recommend people go for?
Well, honestly, there are a lot of different things you can do. It depends on what your strategy is. You should really pay attention to who your leader is and what their powers are. So if I was playing Shaka Zulu and I was intending to meet my neighbors and go and try and conquer them right away, I might pick archery. But if I was playing as, again, Nefertiti, I might go for grain storage. Because
see, I knew you'd set me up. I went for the wrong one.
Or animal husbandry. Because either of those will involve farms that produce more harvest with her that help, especially if I have rivers near me.
Okay,
you know, but if I was on a coastal island, if I was playing on an archipelago, which I think I pronounced correctly.
I think it was good.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I would maybe go for rope making, which can help you get early boats and those types of things.
Yeah, good, nice.
All right, so we still have our scout idol here. We're going to move them out into the wilds.
Yeah, let's expand the territory. We see the fog of war everywhere. You've discovered, what's that just down there with all the little pots and pans?
Oh, yeah. So these are basically the remnants of forgotten civilizations.
Nice.
They contain...
Stonehenge is just there, is it?
Yeah, just an older circle that was made by some nomadic society. And so eventually what will happen is I'll be able to pick those up with my scout. And as I do... we'll be able to discover some things, and those things will possibly help me. So right now, for example, this collected some furs and some statuary. And so now we're going to go ahead and take this stuff. Now, one of the big differentiators for Ara is that it's taken the complexity of a crafting system, but really stretched it out over 12 acts, over the entirety of human history. And so at any given time, you can build these things that you can use as amenities in your cities. For example, because I found some statuary, I can take those old statues, I can put them in my city, and for 10 turns, I'll have additional prosperity.
Nice.
And if I had any culture improvements, like say a library or more like a museum or something, or an artisan studio making those pots and pans,
there we go.
They would get a bonus as well from the being inspired by the beautiful statues. So I'm definitely going to equip that now, and you can see it's going to raise the quality of life of my citizens, and then I'm going to continue to build. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and money talks, right?
I it does indeed, Matt.
Yeah, so you can always get more wealth, and if you get more wealth, you can use it a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
One of the ways is you can rush production. I can throw money at the problem.
So you can prioritize things in the heat of battle if
Exactly.
something's going on and you need it.
You need it, absolutely.
Ooh, okay.
Now, you might notice these cougars over here.
Oh.
Pumas, bearcats,
Yeah.
all names for the same animal. But they are here. Mountain lions, that's another one.
There's another one, nice.
It's the animal with the most names. I don't know if you know that, but it actually is.
I've never thought of it that way.
Weird, but it's true. So I can take them and hunt those, but I'm not gonna because they're a little more dangerous. It'll take me 2 hunts, and I'll be at danger 4, and I could really lose a lot of health. So, like we said, we're gonna go look for some friendly animals. Let's go find some sheeps. Let's go find something a little safer.
The thing I've also found quite interesting is you haven't met any other people yet, and you said this is a small map size.
Yeah,
right?
so even on a small map size, there are quite a number of regions. There's a lot to explore.
Pressure or instant sort of heat that someone's right next to you and you're fighting for resources.
Not necessarily.
Is that intentional?
There is a bit of an intention to give people a little bit of space at the beginning, but honestly, you can set the game up in so many ways. There's so many options with map generation. You can make a tiny map where everyone is clustered together. You can create it so there's very little land or only a single continent, all of these different things. So in this one, this is a map style that really benefits that. And if you zoom in here, you can see our farm.
Wow.
When you build improvements in Ara, they sort of expand to take the space you give them. So this is a farm that's been built out here. You see the little scarecrow.
Let's say how
people
aesthetically it's just set that up. As someone who meticulously spends a lot of time in every game making things look nice, it's got little paths, it fits to the borders, it's lovely.
One of my favorite ways to honestly play is when I'm building a farm. The reason I chose this region is because I like big farms. I like them to stretch out, and I know I'm going to build a farm here with this grain.
Of course.
I want to make sort of an agrarian district along the coast here, so there'll be a bunch of beautiful coastal farms, and then over here will be like my city center. You can kind of play the game almost as a sandbox at the lower difficulty settings and really just build, the nation of your dreams.
And I suppose the most important question is, what's all this worth? What is the end of the game to conquer and wipe everyone off the map, or is it to have the most farms and to have killed the most cougars? I know you mentioned the singularity, but what is that point? What are you trying to do along the way?
It's a totally valid question. It's really good. To win an Ara History Untold, your goal is simply to become the most prestigious nation on the planet. You want to earn the most prestige. You want to be a nation that is known to the ends of time and that everybody will learn about and talk about all the way throughout history. So you can earn prestige many different ways. Everything you do has some form of an impact. For example, right now, most of the prestige I've earned is from the quality of life of my citizens. I've been providing them good goods. I've been farming, making sure they have enough food and everything. And because of that, I've been slowly earning prestige over time.
Okay.
When I was to create a religion, the more my religion spreads, the more I empower the religion by having more powers, which are called verses in the game, which give you new abilities. The more of those that I have, and the more that I can convert other nations to my religion, the more prestige I would gain from that. And you can do it through military, you can do it through commerce, and
I love the idea that there's someone making notes going, I'll give you a point for that. That was a good decision.
Yeah, you can have this prestige.
Yeah,
you can have this. You're a little bit more well known now. One of my favorite things about the prestige system is you can pivot over time.
Okay.
In the first act with Nefertiti, maybe I'll work really hard on spreading my religion, but then maybe in the middle eras, in the early medieval ages or something, I'll rush iron and rush into swordsmen and rush into knights and try to do some conquering. And then as I get into the third act, maybe I'll start producing masterpieces.
Oh, okay.
But you can do all of these things, and then you end up in this stack with the other societies. You can
You can constantly see where you're stacking.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And you can understand how you're earning prestige and where it's coming from and how you maybe could be doing better. One of the other innovations...
Forgettable!
Very sad.
Oh my,
Very harsh.
if I ever find myself there, I think I would cry.
Well, you wouldn't have to cry for long because at the end...
I can boot up a new go and start again.
Always. But also at the end of every act, the forgettable nations are actually culled from the game. It is a unique feature in Ara that allows the game to sort of consolidate the world, make the super... So when you get to the third act in an 8-player game, for example, you'll have 4 players, the superpowers. They'll all be what's left, and everything else will have been kind of forgotten to history. In Act 2, we'll lose 2 nations, and then all of a sudden there will be a rush on all of their incredible findings, all the ruins of their nations, all the stuff that was left behind, and people will be in that kind of age of exploration.
Wow, okay, I love that. So what I want to do now is a little birdie told me that you've actually prepped what an end version. Is it Act 3 we're jumping to? Is it Act 2? Where are we going to be checking out now?
All right, so we're going to go into a Act 3 save that was done where I was playing as Joan of Arc,
Fun.
Jeanne
Okay,
d'Arc.
nice.
who is plays as one of the rulers of France in the game. In the game, they can have multiple rulers of different nations. So, with launch, we're launching with Otto von Bismarck to rule Germany, of course, because we're here at Gamescom. But if you buy the deluxe or premium edition, you get the leader pack that includes Hildegard von Bingen, who plays completely differently. She's a very famous nun from the ancient German times, and she brings a totally different play style than Otto.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I've got one other thing to show you, and then we'll jump right to that.
Oh, okay, right. Ooh!
So we've met a tribe.
This is an event. Nice.
Yeah, so in tribes, when you meet these tribes, you find them out in the wild, and they are these small nations that are named after whatever the region is. So they're sort of inspired by real tribes, but there aren't any actual real individual tribes. They're just made up for that. And then inspired by real life, actual events in history. So in this case, there was a founding myth, and they attributed it to two different things, and they actually had this fight about what was their founding myth. So we've took narrative inspiration about that and created this one, where now they're asking you, should you do the Beastborn Prince myth for their society? What do you want to record in the annals of your great society?
Wow, okay.
Or the Foreign Prince myth? Or do you want to say, no, it wasn't either of those. Actually, it was a giant bird, and you're both wrong, and now you get more religion spread, but then you deteriorate the relationship. Here, this costs stone for you to be able to build out the Prince myth and create the statues necessary. In this one, you need timber to be able to do the things in the woods to kind of show off what the myth would be. And in both cases, you get prestige, but it's about what you have to spend.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do? Do you like the Beast Prince myth, the Born Prince myth, or do you want to bring your own?
I'm writing my own book here.
You're doing it.
Tell them to go away. It's fine. I can see it has a detrimental relationship effect, but it's fine. This is my world, and they're living in it.
It is now the Book of Charlieism is written, and
yes.
we have that. And unfortunately, this will mean these tribal warriors might be mad at us. These guys might be a little bit bitter. Is their current diplomatic status?
That's fine. We'll deal with them later. It's all good. Right.
We don't have to deal with them because we're
to the future.
We're going to go to another game. So this is in a bit of a war-torn world. It's in the information age, but some things have fallen behind a little bit because of the amount of war, and now it's kind of settled into sort of a firm Cold War state. But you'll see different prestige for the different rulers, and you'll also see a mix of different layers of industrial, of modern, as well as...
I cannot wait for this.
So you can see right here, there's a farm that's a little bit different, and we'll zoom out.
Whoa! That's so different. Look at that.
And that is the city of Paris. You can see the old city walls that were built up in medieval times are still there because you wouldn't see those knocked down in real life. You can see different buildings and improvements. If I zoom out further, you see the world's been much more explored. And
absolutely.
You can kind of start to see it from, that airplane view if you were flying over it. Over here, we have one of our great triumphs. Triumphs take up an entire region and build housing around them. This is the amphitheater of El Jem in Tunisia. It is this incredible coliseum that was built by the Romans in the ancient times that provides a lot of different benefits to your society.
It's glowing as well.
Oh yeah, our triumphs, we always throw a little bit of a sheen on them, a little bit of magic.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And then if we move around, you can see there's some horse track there providing some value.
The way, how close you can get down with a camera, I'm in
absolutely.
absolute awe. Oh my goodness me.
This would be what a wheat farm would look like in this era as well. So the different crops also have different appearance as well. This is a stone pit that's currently producing iron.
Nice.
So this is sort of an industrial mine, and you can see the industrial diggers there. And then you can always go into your nested tooltips and say, okay, iron, what do I use iron for? Oh, I know, I use it to craft telescopes or steel. What do I use steel for? I need steel for a lot of things. I'm going to be using that steel to make
a toilet.
Metal pots, indoor toiletry, different things that I can use as amenities that I can use to craft other buildings. For example, I need these machine parts to be able to make a large particle collider. Or I would need these machine parts if I wanted to craft the SRS 8000, which is one of the world's largest excavators that was ever built.
I want one of them, please.
Yeah, just one of those.
God, there's just no point where you're not informed of the decisions you're making, and you can really take time with it because as soon as you're done, absolutely, and you can delete the bits and pieces along the way and make it good.
Yeah, and you can see the borders here with the German state where we had originally had some wars. You can see the city of RJ still has some military units in there. It also has some interesting things. There's a triumph here. I think we have the Statue of Liberty. We have a lighthouse there leading our ships into shore. There's just a lot going on everywhere you look.
There
you can
really
zoom in
is.
and see. And now, it looks complex because it is. This is a core game for core gamers, for strategy gamers. It's a love letter to them. But we've tried to create a lot of things like those nested tooltips, and of course the Encarta, we brought it back, that show you all of the different ways to play, all the different supplies in the game, the people you can find, everything else. So.
Oh, that's so good. And it feels like a juxtaposition to say it, looking at the screen we're looking at here, but this demo only shows a small fraction of the game, right?
We have barely touched upon.
Are there any other elements that you want to very briefly talk about now before everyone dives in?
I'll just show you this little airplane.
Yeah, okay. There it is.
As the world continues, as it grows, there are all those details. You remember those wolves we saw in the ancient era? Now it's replaced by ATVs and airplanes and hot air balloons.
The natural evolution of a wolf to an airplane.
Yeah, that's how they grew, I think. And and then dinosaurs came after that, right? It was wolf, airplane, and then Tyranids.
And Tyranids, yes.
I love those little Tyranids.
Oh, amazing. Matt, I can't thank you enough. This game is firmly on my download queue. I cannot wait to check it out, and I love that you've come here to talk to me about it. Have you had a nice time?
I've had an incredible time talking with you. I love talking with people who love this genre, and I've had so much of an opportunity to do that at Gamescom. I'm going to continue to do it all through the weekend. I'm going to be in the booth and talking to all the fans and the players, and I can't wait for it to come out on September 24th. You can pre-order it now. You can wishlist it. It's day one in PC Game Pass, of course.
Amazing. Another check. Good job. Thank you, Matt. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much once again. You can get your hands, just as he said, on September 24th on PC Game Pass. But we're nearly ready to wrap things up. I'm going to show you one more trailer from the show. It's a sequel of epic side-scrolling proportions. This is Tales of Iron 2.
Our world was not ready for their cruelty, their barbarity. An ancient evil from a forgotten time, a forgotten place. Bewinged devils. They feast without fill, kill without reason, and will not stop until the world burns in blood. Fight fire with fire, they say, but one rat can brave the blaze. Wield the flame with a bloodlust even greater than their own. Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter.
Oh, just so many great interviews on this stage the last 3 days. We've just had a blast, haven't we?
It's been so good, Bex. And remember, with Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass for PC, you can get new games on day one like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on October 25th, play some of the biggest games of the year, and unlock partner benefits from Riot Games and EA Play. If you are not already a Game Pass member, join now and get your first month of PC Game Pass for $1 or €1. This offer is not going to last long though, so you need to act now.
So until next time, thank you so much for watching und auf Wiedersehen!